Good morning and thank you for joining us today. This quick tutorial will guide you through on how to administer this year's remote testing for our CAASPP, ELA, and math summative. So you'll begin by going to CAASPP.org. Then you will select Test Administrator Interface. It will prompt you to go directly to enter your email and your password before it does take you to this page. Since I log in so many times, it already just takes me directly to the main page. So again, double check your emails, make sure that you've received your login information for this year. If not, you can always select forgot password, and they will send you a new link to reset it. So what we would like our teachers to do this year is to schedule their test sessions ahead of time. So this tutorial will show you how to set up your test sessions prior to. Once you're on the main page, you'll go to upcoming sessions. And as you can see right now, I have no scheduled upcoming sessions. So let's go ahead and do a couple examples. We're going to schedule a session. You're going to choose Sunny Hills, go. And our first testing day will be April 12th. Next. And we will be administering the Smarter Balance. So you can see our ELA and math are here. I'm going to just expand it so you can see this year there are two parts as well. So you'll be administering the CAT and the performance task. So let's go ahead and set up our 2 days for ELA. So for our first day, we're going to select only the CAT test. This will just stop any confusion from students seeing both tests on the first day. You want them all to start at the same time. You will get this warning every single time. Don't worry about it. Just click OK. We've already talked to the district. The students will be able to have more than one opportunity. The only thing is when they log out that day, they will not be able to go back and review anything that they've completed on that session. So we have ELA CAT. You can confirm your test here. If you made a mistake, you can delete it. That's okay. And then just make sure you select the correct one. You do have to name your session. So let's just go ahead and we'll do Mr. Brown, part 1, period 6. So then that will help kind of distinguish your day 1 and day 2. I call them part 1, part 2. But whatever works for you. You can't do backslashes, all kinds of other characters are not allowed, but it will prompt you and let you know if you're using incorrect characters or too many for your session name. And here's the new feature, super important. You need to click or select remote or hybrid. Okay. This is the new feature that allows us to give this test remotely to our students, for you to be able to view them, for them to be able to view you, and for you guys to be able to chat during the test session using the Secure Test Browser app. Okay, so if you accidentally select in person, you will not be able to have any communication at all with your students. There's no chat, you can't view them. You cannot switch from in-person to remote during a test session either. So if you accidentally do in person, you will have to create a new session, okay? And then you'll have to give your students that information. So it's better to just go through step by step, plan ahead, and select remote or hybrid, and then we're going to save our session. This is the session ID number that your students will need. So we suggest that you place it into your Google Classroom for that period with the date that they are testing with the part 1. Then that way they will have all their information ready to go for that day. So we can go ahead and close that. So now you can see Mr. Brown has set up his test session for the 12th for his 6th period. Okay, you can verify and confirm right here, remote session. Okay, good. So he's on the right track there. If you need to make an edit, you can click edit. If he needs to change the date, his 6th period is on the 13th. Everything else is still there. Remote is still selected. Okay, so let's go ahead and do part 2. It is a little different, okay, or day 2. Again, still Sunny Hills, go. So Mr. Brown's second day will be Friday, the 16th. Next, still Smarter Balance, still LA, but now we're going to add both parts. Okay, so we're going to put the CAT test. So if anyone did not complete part 1, then they have that available to complete it. If they completed part 1, then it'll be shaded out and the kids can't not select it anyway. They cannot select it. So don't worry about that, but we have to add part 2. So now we have their performance tax. So you can see both tests are here. So now we're going to go ahead and name Mr. Brown's day 2, part 2, 6th period. Again, really important, remote or hybrid, save session. They will be assigned a new or different session ID number. Okay, it will not be the same one for the second day. You're creating a new session. Okay, so then Mr. Brown will need to notify his 6th period students on the 13th. This is your login session ID number. And on the 16th, this is your session login ID number. Okay, again, you can make edits, you can delete it if you need to ahead of time, not a problem. Okay, so I'm going to just show you what a teacher's view. So that day of, once you're there, you've logged in, your students are logging in at home or on campus. This is what your test session ID will look like that day when you're administering the test. So obviously there's no students here because no one has logged in yet, but you can lightly see the shaded portion right here, right underneath select test. That is the approval, just like last year. You can approve all your students or one at a time, but it will light up and then you'll just check off the students as they're logging in, or you can wait a minute and then approve a batch of students. Okay. There is the option for select test, but because we are scheduling our sessions ahead of time, you cannot add any of the sections. Okay, so you cannot add any more tests. Okay, so right here it tells you can't add tests. Okay, and then our new feature with the cameras, you will make sure you select agree, allow, and then you might get the pop-up blocker. Just click allow, and then you'll get one more message for your microphone. Again, just allow. This is how you'll be able to communicate with your students. Hello, good morning. So this is what your students will see. You will see a little, just like a little small circle icon view of your students as they start getting approved. You will see them all along the side with their name, and then that's how you'll monitor them. If you click on the student, then it will actually enlarge the picture. Okay, so then that's what we're going to use to monitor. You can chat with your students as well. Here's a broadcast feature. And that's what all of your students will see. So you can do a broadcast or you can do individual chats. So if you notice that a student is maybe sitting there idle for a little while, you can give them a nudge. Just click on their little photo icon and then you can chat with them and say, hey, Johnny, what's going on? It's a long bathroom break. So make sure that you take advantage of those features. The students, let them know, remind them that you will be monitoring them, that you will have access to chat and communicate with them during the test. I'm going to show you a quick view of what the students will see when they log in. So you can see this is the students sign in, and all the students have received instructions on how to log off of their Chromebook, go to their apps, secure test browser, and start the login process. Okay, so they will enter their legal first name, no nicknames are allowed, their SSID, which has been emailed to them, and then your session ID number, again, whether it's day 1 or day 2. So make sure you remind your students about that. Once they enter all this information, they select sign in. they'll have to go through a quick prompt about checking their camera, their mic, and also audio. So if you have any students that are not using Chromebooks daily, or have issues with their Chromebooks, we suggest that they come in and check out a temporary one during testing, or we might be able to fix it before our tests begin. Let me turn this back on so you can see me. Okay, so that is it for scheduling your session IDs ahead of time. So again, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to stop by. I am in room 2, or send me an email, and I am more than happy to guide you and walk you through on how to schedule all of your sessions for this coming CAASPP. Thank you.